Okay, welcome back to another episode of Third and 23. We're doing a kind of a earlier in the week Thursday special edition kind of uh show today. Now, if you're watching this and you're thinking, "Oh, I'm finally doing a Thursday night game," because guys, I've stayed away from primetime games just and not because of any particular reason other than they haven't really met they haven't really fit into my system or my methodology about sports betting. So I've avoided those games. Unfortunately, still not gonna do a Thursday game. Now I am actually doing a um. I'm actually previewing this Saturday's games. I'm gonna preview them today because I kind of don't want these lines to kind of get out of hand. Um, and I'll get more into that later. And if you're new to the channel, you kind of see my ATS record. Well, you see my ATS record there in the top right. Obviously, I haven't been streaming the whole season. That's basically just 4 weeks, the last 4 weeks of the NFL season. So, anyways, moving on. I got two high stakes plays. I think these are two plays that I'm gonna lay a significant percentage of my bank on. First, starting out with the Bengals at Steelers. Bengals are 2.5 point favorite. This has been bouncing up and down from 2 to 2.5 pretty much all week. Um, Kind of interesting to me because the Packers are going to be going with Mason Rudolph at quarterback. Some people might not think that's a huge downgrade from Kenny Pickett. I've talked about Kenny Pickett on here before. I think he's a horrible quarterback. I'm not gonna pull any punches on that. I never thought he should have been a first round pick. He's looking like a bust. Say he's banged up. To me, it almost sounds like a benching. But they want to say he's banged up, and they're going to go with the third string quarterback, Mason Rudolph, who's never been more than a journeyman backup in this league. Well, I want to say journeyman because he's always been with Pittsburgh, but he's basically been a career backup in this league. Kind of look here on the left-hand side of the screen. You're going to see, I just put some stats together for you guys if you guys want to take a look of how the Bengals and Steelers have performed offensively and defensively this year. Now, if you want to take a deeper dive into the numbers, for me, the Steelers have an awful passing attack. They've had one all year. They're going to have one this Saturday against the Bengals. What they have had is a running game, and they've had a running game with Jaylen Warren and Najee Harris until the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, they went against the Patriots and they got shut down cold. Now, the Patriots shut down everybody cold. So, can't really fault them for that. But then they go against the Colts, who have a bad run defense. And they got shut down cold against them, too. And if you guys saw, Najee Harris looked absolutely awful in that game. They're still going to 50-50 it. So, Jaylen Warren, who has performed better than Najee for most parts of this year, he's not going to get the lion's share to carry. So, it's going to be what I think is a running game that's fading with a third string quarterback and a very weak passing attack going against a Bengals team that's kind of streaking right now. I mean, the Joe Burrow injury hasn't really sunk this team as some might have thought. Jake Browning, while I don't think he's I said it on video, I don't think he's got the physical talent to be a consistent starter in this league. I saw him at Washington, but he's a game manager. We'll say that he's a game manager and a good game manager at that. He's got a lot of weapons around him, and he uses them. Ja'Marr Chase is going to be out for this game, but I think with T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, they're still more than good enough in the passing attack. They've struggled running the ball this year, but until recently, they've, 3 of the last 4 weeks, they cleared over 100 yards rushing. It's been with Chase Brown getting involved, Joe Mixon playing better. They've kind of given a little a shot in the arm, I guess you could say, for that Bengals running attack. So in this is a game where I think the Steelers are fading fast. They do have some slim playoff hopes, but it's not going to happen. Not with an offense this bad. Their record is starting to finally reflect their play on the field because they were fool's gold earlier in the season. And because of that, I'm going to go with the Bengals, and I'm going to go ahead and lay that 2.5. I think Jake Browning kind of gets revenge, quote unquote, right? For his first game taking over Joe Burrow was against Pittsburgh at home, and they lost 16-12. I don't think he was ready yet. It's his first game. He's been a lot better since, and I think he's going to be a lot better in this game. I think they go into Pittsburgh and win. Our next game, we're going to go ahead and pull these numbers up for you guys. Next game is going to be the Bills at the Chargers. Let me just pull up the stats for you. Yeah, gonna have to get better at this. Trying something new here. But anyways, Bills at Chargers. This seems like on paper, this is a pretty easy pick. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this game today, because the spread has gone up from 11.5 to now 12.5. I'll be honest, I already caught this at 11.5. I'll probably do it again at 12.5, but I already caught this at 11.5. So it kind of gives you an idea of which way I'm leaning in this game. But first off, there's basically no chance that the Chargers win this game, right? So if you're going to money line the Bills, that's probably the easiest play of the entire weekend. Hell, it might be the easiest play of the season. You're going with the Chargers with Easton Stick. Keenan Allen is out again. They can't run the ball. They fired their head coach. Nobody knows who this interim coach is. I think his name is Giff. And they have the worst defense, competing with the Commanders for the worst defense in the NFL. Against a streaking Bills team that I told you guys weeks ago, I got them number 5 in my power rankings. And some of y'all might have thought I was crazy because they were like 6-6 or something at the time. Now I got the Bills number 3 in my power rankings, right? And I considered actually putting down a futures bet on them to win the AFC. Right now, if you're just a side note, they're plus 650 is what I found. Plus 650 to win the AFC if you're interested in that. But this is a game, so you got all those things working against the Chargers, and it's a Bills team that's streaking. It's a Bills offense that's been good all year. James Cook is really giving them some balance there, running the football. Defensively, they've been great against the pass all year. Some things people don't really realize is the Bills do have a weakness on the ground. Chargers can't run the ball, and Chargers got Easton Stick at quarterback anyway, so they wouldn't be able to run the ball against a stacked box. So for that reason, I think the Bills are going to the only thing that gives me pause in this game, because this is a big number we're laying, is they got to go across the country. You could have a potential letdown game from the Cowboy game, and maybe you're overlooking a weak opponent, right? So those kind of things can happen. But this Bills team, the only thing is this Bills team needs this. They're not in the playoffs right now. I think they're like the 8th seed. I believe they're the 8th seed right now to make the playoffs. So they're not in the playoffs. They need it. So they're going to come in this game motivated, in my opinion. They're not going to have a letdown game. Coming across the country is not going to stop them. I think the Bills go in here. I laid the 11.5, 12.5. I mean, you're saying they win by 13. I'm looking at this, and I'm like, okay, can the Bills – I'm almost looking at this like, can the Bills score 13? Because how many points are the Chargers really going to score? The Chargers might get shut out this game. They're going to have no offense in this game. And if they have some offense, what are they going to get? 10 max? So the Bills got to score 24, let's say. I think that easily can be done against one of the worst defenses in the NFL. So for that reason, I'm going Bills. And I am laying, like I said, I've already laid 11.5. I'm going to go ahead and lay that 12.5 too. So anyway, that's kind of wraps up this show. I'll obviously get back Sunday morning and have my usual picks for the Sunday games. And as far as tonight's game, if you're doing Saints-Rams, good luck. For me, that's a non-bet. I think that's going to be a competitive game, and I don't really know which way to lean there. I mean, I think the Rams will win, but I'm not so confident in that, and I'm not so confident they could cover, so I'm staying away from that game. But anyway, if you like the content, please like, follow, subscribe as I continue to make changes to this channel, and hopefully it's making the improvements that we need to be successful here at 3rd and 23. But anyways, you're going to see my YouTube handle here in a few seconds. Take care.